everybody, we're back, and this is now my second vlog. So can I talk? Anyway, so like I said last time, my name is Frances. This is my daughter Gianni, my niece Elijah, and my other child Jayla. Come here, say hi. Say hi, Jayla. All right, you go over there. You're blocking my view. So it was requested by one of my very good friends, also one of my subscribers, and based off of something I posted earlier on Facebook. It was basically me talking about, I posted basically pictures of me and my oldest daughter because today makes it a year that I had regained custody of my child right here, my wonderful 4-year-old. And yeah, it was, I don't know where to start, but I guess I'm just gonna start from like the very, very beginning, from like getting pregnant with her and everything that led up to her being back home and stuff like that. So basically, I was young, obviously, because I'm only 24, she's 4. I was 19 when I got pregnant with her, and I was scared, of course, like any parent would be. I wasn't too sure, but never once did I think about, like, getting rid of her or things like that. It was scary. It was very scary. It was, like,
terrifying.
It was a life-changing event. And in the circumstances, I was homeless when I got pregnant with her. Well, I was good before I got pregnant, and then I ended up moving down south for the second time. And I decided I didn't want to be down there because I had no family. I had no one there to help me. So it was a struggle to get back up here to Connecticut. But I made it, and, basically I was just from house to house, and, me and her father weren't speaking. I'm going to be very open. He wasn't there, and I don't knock him for anything because he's there now. He's been there since I was 7.5, 8 months pregnant, and he's a very good father. But like I was saying, we weren't speaking at all, and I was just doing it by myself, going to appointments by myself, always in and out the hospital by myself, and it sucked because it's like, to my knowledge, when you're pregnant, you're supposed to have someone there for you, whether you and your partner are together or not. You're supposed to have that male companion, and it was just like, it sucked. It really sucked. So, whatever, I wouldn't dwell on the past because, like I said, he's there now, and she loves her dad, so that's all that matters on his behalf. But, so my whole pregnancy, I was bouncing from house to house. I wasn't ever stable. I haven't been stable basically since, like, my mom left, so yeah. But that's a whole different topic. And, honestly, me going through what I went through in the last couple of years, from the time I got pregnant up until now, having both my children, it's been very rough, but I thank God every day that I got past everything that I've been through. And there's been people who have been by my side since day one. Some have left, some have came back, and some have left again. And to whoever's still here, thank you. And whoever's not, I don't wish bad on you. I don't hate you. I don't have any animosity towards you. But, hey, I wish you the best, and God bless. But back to my story. So when I had her, at first I was living with my mom, and her dad decided that he didn't want to be away from us, so we ended up moving in with her dad and his mom, and basically his side of the family. And his mom was always there from, like, she didn't even know me, and she just we connected like that, like instantly, like from when she came to see me in the hospital, obviously. But of course he had his doubt, so there was a DNA test taken for her, and of course she came back as his or whatever. And I'm just being very open because it's like people always have questions, and it's like, so I'm just putting everything on the table. If you judge me, I don't care. So please, when you like and comment or whatever, I don't need the negativity. If you feel like you have something to say that's negative or whatever, keep it to yourself, because if I see it, I'm gonna delete the comment. I'm not gonna reply to you or whatever. So yes, a DNA test was taken for my daughter, and like I said again, she is his child. Like I told everybody, like I knew she would be. And you know, as the time went on, because we didn't know each other, me and him, like literally when I got pregnant, it was one time that me and him did what we did, and I got pregnant on the first try, and it was like a week or two of me knowing him. So when our daughter was born, we were getting to know each other as she grew. So and we were new to the whole relationship, so you know, there was infidelities and stuff like that. And then things just got like really, really hectic between me and him, and I ended up moving out the house. I ended up going into a shelter. I was moving from house to house with her, and then DCF was involved. So again, I'm being very open, I'm being very honest. So if you feel like whatever I'm saying is just a bit too much, then just don't continue watching the video, whatever. But DCF got involved, and there was one day where I decided to leave the shelter because I didn't like it. I didn't like the rules. And my DCF worker basically came to me. She was like, either we take her and put her in foster care, or she goes with her grandmother. And I was like, her grandmother can take her. That's fine. So then from there on, that was the decision that was made, that her grandmother and her father were going to take custody because they were obviously more stable than I was. So, you know, the first couple of nights, obviously I stood with his mom and him, but then I had to leave, and I had to leave my daughter, and it was hard. It was very, very hard, because it's like, I'm her mom. You know, she had just turned 1. So it was just like, what do I do from here on out? And it was just like, DCF wanted me to do all these things to get her back, and I just felt like they were asking too much of me. So it was like, I wasn't complying, and we had court December of 2016, and the final decision was made where we were giving her grandmother temporary custody. And you know, once that decision was made, DCF was closed out, and then, you know, basically we were just living our lives. And then she was staying in Waterbury, I was staying in Bridgeport with one of my aunts, and whenever I wasn't working or whatever, I would go visit her, you know, buy her stuff, of course. Like, I was playing the mother role, but she just wasn't living with me, so I wasn't being a full-time mother. And it sucked, because it's like, you know, she cried every time I left her, and it's just like, how do you explain to a 1-year-old? How do you explain to a 2-year-old? Because I didn't get back till I was 3. So up until 3, I had to explain my daughter every time I left. You know, like, mommy will be back, mommy's gonna get you soon. And it's just like, every time I was, you know, every time I was ready to get her back, something would happen. And I was just like, at one point, I did want to give up. I'm not going to lie. I did want to give up, because it's just like, every time I was ready to get her back, something just got in the way. But that was just maybe just God's way of telling me, it's not your time yet. You're not ready yet. And, you know, he was right. And then, actually, I did end up pregnant, but after Gianni, before Jayla. But I lost that baby. Very hard for me. I didn't want the baby. I knew the gender, and it was a boy, and I was just very upset. You know, there was a lot of trials and tribulations with between me and her dad, and me getting her back. Even, you know, like, between my family and between his family. Like, it was just, nothing was perfect. Of course, nothing in life is perfect. Nothing in life is ever given to you or handed to you. You have to literally excuse my language, you have to bust your ass to get where you want to be. So basically, me getting her back was a very, very challenging thing, but I did it. I did it, you know, like, I overcame that obstacle. It was a very long time. 2.5 years to you guys may seem like, oh, that's nothing. But to me, it was an eternity, you know, because that's my child. She was, you know, like, it was like a piece of me being ripped from me, and it hurt. It's okay. And so eventually in the summer of 2017, I was just tired of, you know, living with people and it not working out. We ended up homeless. There was times I slept outside. There was times I slept in anywhere public. I've slept in hospitals, and it sucked. It really did suck, because I'm like, when is my time gonna come? When am I gonna be okay? You know, or whatever. And so don't ask me how I remember, but you know, I had signed up for a shelter. You know, I made the call to 211, and you know, they paid for me to stay in hotels and stuff as well. So then July 10th, I got the call, and they were like, oh, we have a bed for you over here at Martha's Place in New Haven. And I went there. The first week was very rough for me because I didn't know anyone there. I'm not familiar with the New Haven area. Now I'm a little bit familiar, but I'm still not. So it was hard for me to sleep. I would cry, you know. Their dad would stay on the phone with me just to comfort me and stuff like that. And after the first week or so, you know, I got used to it because it wasn't that bad. Like, I had a, you know, 9 o'clock curfew. I was able to make my own meals. I was able to come and go as I pleased. And, you know, I will always go to Waterbury and visit. Of course, I will go visit my daughter. Sometimes they made arrangements where I could stay out, you know, so I can be with my daughter. They're not supposed to, but they did, you know, they made an arrangement. So I stood there for about 4 or 5 months. I maxed out there, and then when I was getting ready to have my youngest, Jayla, you know, Martha's Place wasn't suitable for me to be with a newborn baby, so that's when they placed me in Life Haven. And you know, and that one was comfortable. You know, I had my own room, I had a lock, I had my own key, things like that. But even between those 8 months of being in the shelter, it was very hard for me, again, because every time I would have to leave my daughter, she would cry, and it would break my heart. And I'm just like, baby, I'm gonna, you know, we'll be back together soon. And it's just like, I keep saying that, but when is soon gonna happen? So then when Jayla was about 2 months old, March 2nd of last year, 2018, you know, that's when well, prior to that, I moved in March 2nd, but 2-3 weeks before that, that's when you know, my worker at the shelter came to. She's like, I have good news. I'm like, hey, you know, what's going on? She's like, oh, well, I got you housing in Derby. Would you like to take it? I said, absolutely. Thank you so much. Like, I cried tears of joy, because I'm like, finally, like, I can get my daughter back. That was the first thing that came to my mind, was getting my child back. So when I moved in, you know, I worked for a little bit, and of course I filed the petition to get my daughter back in court. We went to court. The first court date was, I want to say, see, I moved here in March, so I want to say sometime around May or June. Stop, please. May or June. And they were like, they just wanted me to, they just gave me requirements, because at the time, you know, again, someone had called DCF on me in the hospital when I had my daughter, my youngest daughter. So DCF had requirements for me to get my oldest back. And, you know, I met those requirements. Basically was just holding down a job, and taking care, having child care in place for her before she came home. And, you know, I met all those requirements. Obviously, as a mother, I'm going to do what I need to, because I want my daughter home. So then we went back to court August 23rd of last year, a year ago from today. This is why I'm making the video. And the judge was like, well, you seem like a very fit mother, and, you know, everyone has, they have, how do you say that? They vouch for you, and they feel like you're in a very good place, so we're granting you back guardianship of your 40-year-old daughter, Jayani Perkins. I literally wanted to just drop to my knees and just say, thank you, God, but obviously you can't do that in the courtroom. So I just was like, thank you so much. Come to mommy. So I was just so happy, and I just thanked the judge, and I just kept thanking, you know, my mother-in-law and just everyone who vouched for me, because it's like, they never gave up on me. And like the number one person I just keep thinking is my mother-in-law, Catherine, because it's like she never gave up on me. As much junk as she talked and as many arguments as we have gotten into, despite all that, she was my number one supporter. And of course their dad was there because that's his child. You know, like he always told me, like he just kept me going, like regardless of what me and him go through as well. Like he's just always been my backbone, and I appreciate him so much. So it's like, yeah, like people ask, oh, why do you stay with him, or why do you continue to be with him the way you're with him? And it's just like, you guys wouldn't even know the half of it. But like I said, that's another topic. So if you guys ever want me to do a video based off of me and his relationship and how things went the way they went, I wouldn't mind doing a video about that. So yeah, that's basically the story of how I lost custody of her and how I got her back. And if you have any more questions, anything, don't be afraid to, comment below. And again, like and subscribe. And that's it. Bye, guys.
Give us a thumbs up and